Good morning, everyone. My name is Sachin Khurana, and I hope that due to lockdown, like me, you all are home and safe, which is very, very important these days. We will start with our new subject, that is the introduction to macroeconomics for class plus 2. Let us see that what macroeconomics basically means, and then we will come up with these important questions which are very important for the from the point of view of examination and clearing out your logics and concept. So let us first understand what do we mean by economics. Let us bifurcate this word economics into two parts, that is economic and S. Here what do we understand is economic means those things which are related to money. So we can understand or understand these components like economic activities and economic agents. I repeat, economic activities and economic agents. Now what does S means? S means study. So when we study economic activities and we study economic agents, that is called economics. So the branch of knowledge which studies the economic activities and economic agents in an economy, that is called economics. That is called economics. Now we come to our next word, economy. What is an economy? Ab beta, economy is a thing where we perform these economic activities and we have economic agents. So to understand the word economy, first we need to understand what are economic activities, and we have already discussed it. Those activities which involve money are called economic activities. Next, what are economic agents? Economic agents are those individuals, those firms, the government, the banking system, or anything which is involved in economic activities are called economic agents. These are called economic agents. So what are the four examples of economic agents? Individuals, firms, government, and the banking system. Now what is economy? Now let us take an example. What we do is, a mother has purchased milk and bread and prepared a breakfast for his child. The mother has prepared breakfast for the child. Now if we take our own home, then will our mother charge us rupees 50 or something for the breakfast that she serves us? No. So this means that the breakfast prepared by the mother and served to the child does not involve the transaction or exchange of money. So this is not an economic activity. This is not an economic activity. But when this mother had purchased the milk and the bread from the shopkeeper, then she had paid, for example, we say rupees 30. So this transaction involves money. So this is an economic activity. This is an economic activity. So what we say is any activity which involves the exchange of money or goods and services in lieu of each other is called an economic activity. Is it clear? Give a reading. Take the example of your life. What is an economic activity and what is not? Now likewise, we take various examples. For example, a restaurant. We say a grocery shop. We say a mobile shop. We say a garment shop, and likewise. So, the restaurant person will sell various food items or dishes to the public and will receive money. So, the money received from the total sales receipts is called revenue. It is called revenue. Out of this revenue, he will divide it into two things. That is, first is the cost of production. It means the amount which has been spent to produce that Shahi Paneer, and the rest is profit. The rest is profit. Now, why is this restaurant owner running a restaurant? Why is a grocery shop owner running a grocery shop? Why is a mobile shop owner running it? And why is a person selling garments in his shop? The answer is very simple. That is to earn a living for their survival, for their sustenance in life. They need something to buy various necessities, and that is money. That is money. So, we say an economy is a system. An economy is a system that helps a person to earn his or her living. So, what is an economy? I repeat, it is a system that helps a person to earn his or her living. That is economy. And the branch of knowledge that studies all these economic activities is called economics. It is called economics. Now in class +1, we had studied a particular branch of this economics, that is microeconomics. And today we will start with macroeconomics. The very first difference comes that why did we divide the economics into two various parts, that is microeconomics and macroeconomics. Now this is important to understand that to get a concept clarity that how individuals are affected, how economy as a whole is affected, we need to divide this economics into two parts, that is microeconomics and macroeconomics. Now for simplicity we will do one thing. We will highlight this word I in micro. We will highlight this word I in micro, and we will highlight this word A in macro. We will highlight this word A in macro. Here, I will refer to individuals. I will refer to individuals, whether those individuals are an individual person, an individual firm, an individual industry, or an individual market. Now let us take examples. As my name is Sachin Khurana, I am the individual person. So I am a part of microeconomics. I have a firm. For example, I run a school, I run a garment shop. So that is also a part of microeconomics. Macroeconomics. The industry, for example, the garment industry in the economy in India. For example, we have 10,000 garment firms in India, so that individual industry is also a part of microeconomics. And one more chapter we had read in microeconomics was the markets. Under this, we had studied two forms of markets. The first one was perfect and the other was imperfect. I hope you remember. The first was perfect market and the second was imperfect market. Under imperfect market, we had three more categories. That is monopoly, monopolistic, and oligopoly. So a particular market, whether it is perfect or imperfect, whether it is monopoly, monopolistic, or oligopoly, they all are a part of microeconomics. They all are a part of microeconomics. Now, what does A mean? A would refer here to aggregates. It would refer here to aggregates, and here aggregate means one and only one thing, that is economy as a whole. It means economy as a whole. For example, if this is the geographical boundary or the political boundary of India, so all the activities compiled, for example, all the industries, whether it is a garment industry, whether it is plywood factories, whether it is steel industry, whether it is chemical industry or the like, all these industries combined together in an economy would be a part of macroeconomics. I hope I'm clear. Now, here a question arises that microeconomics does not deals with aggregates, does not deals with aggregates. So what would be the answer? True or false? The answer would be false. Because earlier we had studied that an industry which involves 10,000 garment firms, that involves 10,000 garment firms, are to be considered under microeconomics. So this is aggregate of 10,000 firms. But under macroeconomics, we will study only one thing discussed earlier, that is economy as a whole. Economy as a whole. I hope I'm clear. Now let us see what are the components that we study under micro and macroeconomics, and what are their other names. Microeconomics, we had studied about the consumer behavior and the consumer equilibrium. Next, we had studied the producer behavior and its equilibrium. Third, we had studied the markets and its equilibrium. I repeat, what three components we had studied? We had studied consumer behavior and its equilibrium, producer behavior and its equilibrium, and market behavior and its equilibrium. But now, under macroeconomics, we will learn economy's equilibrium. We will learn economy's equilibrium. For example, here we studied demand and supply. Here we will study aggregate demand and aggregate supply. I repeat, in microeconomics we studied demand and supply. Now in macroeconomics we will study aggregate demand and aggregate supply. Here we studied consumer, producer and market equilibrium. Here we will study economies equilibrium. The next difference is that due to its components, we say microeconomics is also called theory of price. This is also called theory of price, and macroeconomics is called theory of income and employment. I repeat, microeconomics is called theory of price and macroeconomics is also called theory of income and employment. Am I clear? Now let us look at some very important aspects or questions of economics. The very first comes, when did the concept of macroeconomics was born? When did the concept of macroeconomics was born? The first important thing we need to know is, do you know who is the founding father of modern macroeconomics or macroeconomics we say? You must be knowing him. He is Mr. Adam Smith. He is Mr. Adam Smith. In 1776, one of his books was published. It is a very renowned book in the world of economics, which formed the basis of economic theory, and that is generally known An Inquiry into the Nature and Cause of Wealth of Nations. An Inquiry into the Nature and Causes of Wealth of Nations. Under this book, what he tried to explain was, he tried to explain that any country, we take an example, country A, if it is rich in natural resources, then it will be a developed or a rich country, and this is a myth. This is wrong. Rather, any country, for example country B, although not rich in natural resources, but they have the ability, they have the technology to use or exploit. Here exploitation is not a negative word. This means optimum utilization of resources. Use or exploit the natural resource will be a rich or a developing or a developed country. I repeat, any country which is rich in natural resource may or may not be a rich country or a developed country, but a country which may not be rich in the natural resources, but they have the ability, the technology, the power to use or exploit the natural resources in an optimum manner, will be a developed or a rich nation. Now what does this show? This shows that macroeconomics needs to be studied. Because when we talk of natural resources, we talk of economy as a whole. Moving to the next step, in 1929, the world faced the Great Depression. When in 1929, and during that period a very famous economist, John Maynard Keynes, I repeat, John Maynard Keynes emerged and studied for this particular year, that is from 1929 to 1933. What did he study? He studied the entirety. Entirety means economy as a whole, and examined. What did he examine? He examined the interdependence of different sectors. The interdependence of different sectors, that how the performance of a sector will affect the performance or working of another sector. And majorly we divide the economy into three major sectors. आप सबने ये पढ़ा है 9th 10th में. That is the primary sector, the secondary sector, and the tertiary sector. This involves various things like agriculture or the things which are related to the excavation of the raw material from the earth. Second, we have an example of industrial units which have the capacity of converting the raw material into finished goods or change the possession or the form utility of the raw material. And the third is the tertiary sector, which involves services which also acts as auxiliaries to trade. Example, banking, finance, insurance, transportation. I hope you're clear with this. So when J.M. Keynes studied for these consecutive 4 years the entirety and examined the interdependence of different sectors, so in 1936 he published a book, that is a general theory of employment, interest and money. So three things he covered, that is general theory of employment, interest and money. This was the time when the concept of macroeconomics was born. So this was the time when concept of macroeconomics was born. Getting my point? Now, we would cover the topic, what are the principles of macroeconomic analysis? Very easy. This is your syllabus for class +2. For example, national income. For example, banking. For example, equilibriums and disequilibrium in an economy. For example, employment. So these are the principles of macroeconomic analysis which helps us understand the performance or the implications of an economy due to various economic activities. I repeat, for example, national income, banking sector, equilibrium and disequilibrium of an economy and employment. The next important question comes that, read this question number 2. The output levels of all the goods and services have a tendency to move together. Now what does this question means? This means कि एक इकोनॉमी में जो भी आउटपुट लेवल है सारी गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज का दे हैव एन टेंडेंसी टू मूव टुगेदर. इट मींस इसका आंसर आएगा बेटा हमारे पास ट्रू. द आंसर वुड बी ट्रू because there is a very basic point to be understood in economics, which is expense of person A will become income of person B. then expense of person B will become income of person C. And likewise, for example, if I have earned rupees 100, I am person A, then I have the income. What I will do, for example, I have earned this by selling shoes to someone. Now I will use this rupees 100 to buy garments from person B. Understand my point? This is just an assumption that I am spending 100% of my income. So what I'll do is I'll spend these rupees 100 on person B to buy garments from him. So my expense will become his income. Now the income of person B, what he will do is he will make an expense and he will buy sweets from person C. Now the expense of person B has become the income of person C. Am I correct? I'll repeat. Income of person A, sorry, the expense of person A will become the income of person B, and the expense of person B will become the income of person C. Likewise, the economy will perform. So, an initial expense or investment in the market of rupees 100 has converted to an income of rupees 300. That is income of person A, income of person B, and income of person C. So the total income has come out to be 300 rupees. Now we move back to our question that output levels of goods and services have a tendency to move together, and the answer is true, because if A has an income, then B will be able to sell the goods. If B has the income, then C will be able to sell his goods, and likewise. So अगर गारमेंट्स बिके हैं तो ही स्वीट्स बिकी हैं, अगर शूज ना बिकते तो गारमेंट्स भी ना बिकते, गारमेंट्स ना बिकते तो स्वीट्स भी ना बिकती. इसका मतलब वो टेंडेंसी फिर भी सेम रहती. इट मींस इफ गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज इन अ पर्टिकुलर सेक्टर have increased, then in other sectors also it will increase, due to the general law we follow is expense of a person is income of another person, and he will also spend that money to the next level. And if goods and services in a sector have decreased, their demand or supply have decreased, likewise in other sectors also it will decrease, and the same applies to the employment, because if there is no demand in one sector then of goods and services, then employment will be less, and accordingly employment will decrease in all the sectors. But if there is increase in the production of goods and services in one sector, then employment will also increase, and likewise employment will increase for other sectors also, because one person's income is other person's expense, and one person's expense is other person's income. So all the output levels have a tendency to move together, and the answer is true. Now last topic for today comes, that is sectors of an economy. There are basically 4 sectors of an economy, and we studied this in 2 various categories. The very first comes the closed economy, and the other comes open economy. Now let us first see what are the 4 sectors, then we will understand how this closed and open economies are formed. So the first sector is the households, which are a major participant for consumption. So we represent this by C. Second comes the firms, they are a major participant for investment. We represent this by I. The third comes which runs an economy or guides it or is authorized to control the activities in an economy, that is the government. We represent this by G, and understand this government performs both the functions, that is of consumption and investment. Example, the government has established BSNL. Now, when they have established BSNL, so the land they have purchased, the building material they have used, they all form a part of investment. And the tube light, the electricity, the stationery, the furniture they are consuming, the dresses they are consuming form a part of consumption expenditure. Got my point? And the fourth comes the external sector. The fourth comes external sector. Here we include two major things. The very first is export and import, and the second is capital inflow or capital outflows from an economy. I repeat, the external sector includes export and import and the capital inflows and capital outflows. Exports are represented by X and imports are represented by M. I repeat, exports are represented by X and imports are represented by M. So these are the four major sectors of an economy, which makes an economy either a closed economy or an open economy economy. Now let us understand what is a closed economy. Let us take an example of our house or our room. तो इसमें आएंगी हमारे पास टू, यानी कि टू सेक्टर मॉडल एंड थ्री सेक्टर मॉडल. This is confined to the boundaries of an economy. These refer to the or have a constraint of boundaries of an economy. So here we include C plus I, that is consumption and investment, like our room or our house. As we move out of our house, we have government to pay to collect taxes from us or to give subsidies. So that is also within the boundaries of an economy. So in a three sector economy, we have consumption, that is household, investment, that is firms, and government, that is G. Now, when a country deals with other countries to fulfill their own needs or others' needs, that is, they enter into export and import. So that becomes open economy. So any economy which deals with the rest of the world is called open economy. So its components are, that is, it is a four sector economy or four sector model. It has C plus I plus G plus X minus M plus X minus M. Why is it X minus M? That we will understand in a next topic, that is next chapter, that is national income. So this was today from my side. What is economics? What is macroeconomics? What is microeconomics? How they are interdependent on each other. How the concept of macroeconomics was born. What was the contribution of our two major economists of the world, that is Adam Smith and John Maynard Keynes. And in our syllabus, we have the Keynesian theory of economics. That would be the plot of our subject, and how the goods and services affect each other in all the economies, and how the performance of economic agents, for example, consumption, that is household, investment, that is by firms, government and external sector, are able to affect each other in an economy, which forms the sectors of an economy. So thank you for the day. Stay at home, stay safe. Let's fight Corona together. Thank you.